Yo, it's your boy, the Ghetto Wrestling Fan, and I'm back with another video. The last Monday Night Raw of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. The last Monday Night Raw of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I had to repeat that twice because I don't think you guys heard me when I said it the first time. This was the last Monday Night Raw of 2025, ladies and gentlemen. I said a third time, and it was absolutely dookie juice. It was so trash that I'm kind of embarrassed to be a wrestling fan at this point when it comes to WWE. And the reason why I say I'm embarrassed to be a wrestling fan at this point, because this show was cringe-worthy. It was extremely cringe-worthy. Like, I don't know what to say no more. This shit is ridiculous when it comes to this booking, and it's just ridiculous. I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. So we start the show off with a weak ass promo by the Vision. Even Paul Heyman gave us a weak promo. He come out, he glazed all the people in the Vision, all the superstars that's in the Vision, and saying how they the future. He welcomes Austin Theory, the newest member of the Vision, to the Vision. And then they get interrupted by CM Punk. CM Punk comes out. He asks for the rest of the Vision members to leave the ring. Only person he want to stay in the ring is Braun Breaker. So Braun Breaker grant his wishes, and he asks the rest of the members to leave the ring. Then we get next. I can keep it real with you guys. I understand the passion, and I really believe that Braun Breaker really want to give his all to this industry. Like, he want to be the next guy in the business, the next face of the company, and he's taking it very serious. But after watching this promo, if you don't got it, you just don't got it. I'm just gonna say that. If you don't got it, you just don't got it. You can't force it. You can't force it. If you don't have it, you don't have it. I'm sorry. Like, you can't. What Triple H trying to do is force superstars on the WWE universe. That's what he's trying to do. But that never worked. That didn't even work with Vince McMahon when he tried to force Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns had to dig deep and really find his way to get over with the fans, and he found his way. It just wasn't a good show. They continue to lie about how the show is sold out. But as the camera pans to the top of the arena, you can clearly see there's empty seats. But they continue to lie about everything being sold out. They continue to tell those lies. Mysterio is out. I guess he really was hurt. He had a match at the AAA Lucha show, and he got hurt. And that's what happened when you really not a good wrestler, but they try to put a mid, one of the top mid titles on you and push you super hard, but you're not really a good wrestler. That's just my opinion. That's what happened when you get stuff like that. So we move on to the triple threat match for the women's title, which is Stephanie, Nikki Bella, and Rachel. This match was trash. This match was dookie juice. This match was cringe-worthy. Of course, we got Stephanie. She retains her belt. She pinned Nikki, and we move on. And I gotta bring it up again. What show is these announcers on? Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. They just bouncing from SmackDown to Raw, bouncing back and forth, SmackDown to Raw, and we gotta constantly get put to sleep by Joe Tessitore. We gotta constantly get put to sleep by Joe Tessitore. But I'm not gonna get into that tonight. We moving on. We move on to one of the worst parts of the show, the most cringe-worthy part of the show. And that's the Kabuki Warriors. So we get the Kabuki Warriors. They come out. And I ain't going to lie. This part of the show, I had to cover my face. This how trash this part of the show was. This part of the show was so trash. I almost cut it off. I was embarrassed. It felt like I was in the ring and I was the one who was cutting the promo. And I was passing gas and letting it linger. That's what it felt like. I don't know what I watched, but I hope Triple H never booked that again. You see, I said this last week. It seemed like Triple H is getting everybody the mic. He letting everybody cut a promo, and everybody get on the mic. At this point, the Kabuki Warriors might as well do their promo in Japanese. And I'm not trying to be super offensive, but I don't understand what you're saying. You yelling and you just embarrassing yourself out there. The crowd was super quiet. You could hear the crickets. It was so quiet. It was extremely embarrassing. This was the worst promo of the year. I gotta rate them. I gotta rate the Kabuki Warriors. This was the worst promo matter of fact, this was one of the worst promos I've seen in my life. It was completely terrible. And we got another brawl, ladies and gentlemen. Like I say, they're gonna keep doing the same thing week after week and keep booking the show on repeat. It's just copy and paste every week. Trash every week. Dookie juice every week. Another brawl. So I guess we supposed to. This is the last Raw of 2025, and we got another brawl from the tag team champions, and they're gonna have a match next week to open up the Raw 2026, and that Raw gonna be trash. I guarantee it. Anyway, moving on. So we pan to the backstage area, and we get R-Truth. He walks into the scene as Gunther. You know what he do every week. Like I said, copy and paste. So R-Truth basically checks Gunther for disrespecting John Cena and saying he's his hero and someone's going to check him. So Gunther say he'll see him in the ring. And once he said that, I'm like, oh my God. So we're going to watch R-Truth get jobbed out again on Monday Night Raw by Gunther. We already know what's going to happen. It's so predictable. We already know what's going to take place. So R-Truth gets jobbed out by Gunther on Raw, and that's pretty much it. There's nothing really to talk about. The match was pathetic. I low-key walked away from the TV while this match was on. None of this shit is watchable. Excuse my language, but it's starting to get really annoying. Like, it's getting worse every week. Like, I honestly can sit here and say that WWE has been trashed the whole calendar year of 2025. The whole calendar year of 2025, WWE has been Dookie juice. They keep trying to lean on Roman Reigns for ratings when they need to get a ratings booster, or they need a major pop. They have Roman Reigns come back, Brock Lesnar come back, John Cena to lean off his popularity. Who gonna come back next? Doink the Clown? That's who should come back next. A new version of Doink the Clown should come back because he'll fit right in with this circus show from Triple Fraud. Every week. It's trash every week. Dookie juice every week. Roman Reigns had about 6 returns in 1 year. I never seen that before. He returned. He had an appearance January 6th, March 10th, July 15th, July 14th, September 29th, November 17th. Like, how many times this guy gonna return? But anyway, let me get back on subject. Moving on. So we did move on to the Rey Mysterio and Austin Theory match, which it kind of picked up the pace because the show at this point was complete trash and dookie juice. So this kind of picked up the pace a little bit and made it a little exciting. And right when I was starting to get into the match, you get Logan Paul destroying the match and ending the match, which Rey Mysterio wins by disqualification because he attacked Rey Mysterio while he's on the apron outside of the ring. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So I guess the major pop for this match, we got Penta back. Penta returns and helped Rey Mysterio against Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and that was supposed to be the big pop, or we supposed to be so exciting. Even though I like Penta, don't get me wrong, I like Penta, but we supposed to be so exciting because Penta back, and you just destroy a perfectly decent match. This was the only match I seen that was halfway decent. Everything else they did tonight was trash.
And I just want to say, everybody that's watching the video, I apologize for my recording. I'm outside on the Vegas Strip as I'm making this video. So appreciate you for supporting me and subscribing to the channel. Everybody that's watching, appreciate the support. Sorry for the recording, but we're gonna continue with this recap. So next we got another trash ass promo by Maxine Dupri. She then is interrupted by Becky Lynch, and they do the same thing they did like 4 weeks in a row. The same song and dance, the same thing over and over and over and over again. No one is interested in this promo or this storyline. What are they trying to do with this bullshit? No one cares. So anyway, moving on to the only part of the show that was halfway decent and entertaining. We got Dragon Lee and AJ Styles versus the Usos for the World Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. This match was decent. It wasn't super good. It was decent. It wasn't bad. And as we all expected, the Usos picked up the victory and became 9-time World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Well, just 9-time Tag Team Champions in general. This is their 9th title that they won since they've been in WWE. This match was decent. It was the best thing about the show because the rest of the show was absolute garbage. I mean, a Rey Mysterio and an Austin Theory match, it had potential, but they destroyed it when Logan Paul triggered the disqualification. Other than that, this whole show was absolutely trash. Since I've been doing reviews, out of all the reviews I did, this show was kind of more trash than SmackDown. No, it wasn't more trash than SmackDown. I can't say that. It was trash, but it's like damn near neck and neck. This show was absolute dookie juice, ladies and gentlemen. It was unwatchable. I'm embarrassed to be a wrestling fan at the recording of this video. I'm embarrassed to call myself a wrestling fan. That's how bad this was. The Kabuki Warriors put on such a terrible promo. I don't even know what to say anymore. This stuff is not even watchable anymore. I'm eager to see once it's time to renew the Netflix deal, if Netflix gonna renew with WWE. I'm eager to see that. ESPN already not happy. But it's your boy, the Ghetto Wrestling Fan. Thanks for tuning in to this weekly recap. Even though my recording was kind of off this week, thanks for bearing with me. Please subscribe, comment, and I'll be back to you for the SmackDown recap. This was the last Raw of SmackDown. I mean, sorry, I just messed up. My mind all over the place. I'll see you guys for the SmackDown recap. This was the last Raw of 2025, and it was absolute garbage. Dookie juice. And that's all I can say. I give this show a -47. That's why I rate the show. It was a -47. I'm just gonna say -47. It was absolute dookie juice. Only thing that was decent about the show was the tag team match between AJ Styles, Dragon Lee, and the Usos. Everything else they did was garbage, poorly booked, and copy and paste bullshit. Only thing was good was the main event. Even Joe Chestertour got a little energy for this main event. I was surprised. He had the most energy I ever seen out of all his time of being an announcer. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later this week on Friday for SmackDown. It's your boy, the Ghetto Wrestling Fan, and I'm out.
Say his name and he appears. Levette believe in poor bookings. Levette believes in poor bookings. Tries Raw, SmackDowns, and PLEs. Levette believe in poor bookings. Levette believe in poor bookings.